मॉर्निंग दीदी। गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। नमस्कार। स्वागत आप सभी का मंडे के मॉर्निंग सेशन में। चैंटिंग के लिए दीप्ति जी को आमंत्रित करते। I'll make you co-host just yeah. Over to you.
Thank you. प्रातःकालीन वंदना, अर्पणा एवं प्रारंभिक वंदना। योऽसो भगवार्हं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो स्वाखातो येन भगवता धम्मो सुपटिपन्नो यस्य भगवतो सावक संघो तं मयं भगवन्तं सधम्मं ससङ्घं इमे हि सकारे हि यथार्हं आरोपिते हि अभिपूजयामा। वे जो हैं अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध, भगवान के द्वारा अच्छी तरह समझाया गया धम्म, धम्म के मार्ग को अच्छी तरह प्रतिपादित करने वाले भगवान के श्रावक संघ, उन भगवान बुद्ध, धम्म और संघ की हम यथोचित सत्कार से पूजा करते हैं। साधुनो भन्ते भगवा सुचिर परिनिब्बुतोऽपि पश्चिमा जनतानुकम्पमानसा इमे सकारे दुःखतपणाकारभूते पटिगणहातु हाकं दीघरतं हिताय सुखाय। हमारा सौभाग्य कि भगवान को महान निर्वाण की प्राप्ति के बाद भी आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी पर अनुकंपा थी। आदर पूर्वक दी गई यह तुच्छ भेंट कृपया स्वीकार करें। हमारे दीर्घकालिक हित और सुख के लिए। अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा बुद्धं भगवन्तं अभिवादेमि। स्वाखातो भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमस्सामि। सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो संघं नमामि। अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध, भगवान बुद्ध का मैं अभिवादन करती हूँ। भगवान के द्वारा अच्छी तरह समझाया गया धम्म, उस धम्म को मैं नमन करती हूँ। भगवान के श्रावक संघ, जिन्होंने मार्ग को अच्छी तरह प्रतिपादित किया, उस संघ को मैं नमन करती हूँ। अन्धमयं बुद्धस्य भगवतो पुब्भागनमकारं करोमसे। नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमस्कार उन्हें जो हैं अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध। नमस्कार उन्हें जो हैं अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध। नमस्कार उन्हें जो हैं अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध। अनित्यता का विवेचन। अन्धमयं अनिच्चानुसति पाठं भणामसे। सब्बे संखारा अनिच्चा, सब्बे संखारा दुःखा, सब्बे धम्मा अनात्ता। सभी संस्कृत बनी हुई चीजें अनित्य हैं। सभी संस्कृत बनी हुई चीजें दुख हैं। सभी धम्म अनात्म हैं। अधुवं जीवितं ध्रुवं मरणं अवस्सं मया मरितव्यं मरण पर्योसानं मे जीवितं जीवितं मे अनियतं मरणं मे नियतं। जीवन अनिश्चित है, मृत्यु अटल है। मेरी मृत्यु अवश्य ही होगी। मेरे जीवन का अंत मृत्यु ही है। मेरा जीवन अनिश्चित है, मेरी मृत्यु निश्चित है। वत अयं कायो अचिरं अपेत विज्ञानो क्षुड्डो अधिशेषति पटविं कलिंगरं इव निरर्थं। अवश्य ही यह शरीर शीघ्र ही चेतना विहीन हो जाएगा, फेंक दिया जाएगा, पृथ्वी पर पड़ा होगा, सड़े हुए लकड़ी के लट्ठे की भांति बेकार। अनिच्चावत संखारा उपादवय धम्मिनो उपज्जित्वा निरुच्छन्ति तेषां भूप समो सुखो। सभी संस्कृत बनी हुई चीजें वास्तव में अनित्य हैं। उत्पन्न होना तथा व्यय होना इनका स्वभाव है। उत्पन्न होकर वे निरुद्ध हो जाती हैं। इनका उपशमन सुखकारी है। अंतिम उपदेश की गाथाएं। अंधमयं पश्चिमोवाद गाथायो भणामसे। आए हम अंतिम उपदेश की गाथाओं का पाठ करें। अंधदानी भिक्खवे आमंत्रयामि वो वै धम्मा संखारा अपमादेन सम्पादेथाति अयं तथागतस्य पश्चिमा वाचा। आओ भिक्षुओं, मैं तुम्हें एक बार फिर कहता हूँ, सभी संस्कृत संस्कृत वस्तुएं व्यक्ति व्यय धम्मा हैं। प्रमाद रहित होकर अपने लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करो। यह तथागत के अंतिम वचन हैं। Gil, over to you.
थैंक यू. सो हम शुरू के 2-3 मिनट शांत होके बैठ जाते हैं, फिर मैं वीडियो रन कर देता हूँ, so that we can go for the instruction number 3 of Anapanasati. So let's just sit quietly for 2 to 3 minutes.
In the discourse, mindfulness of breathing, the Buddha shifts from the mindfulness of the body to mindfulness of feelings, and that shift is it's on a certain level it's a very natural shift in that going from making the body peaceful, tranquilizing the body, making it peaceful, making it relaxed, and then going to feelings. The next is the experiencing. Piti is the say the first aspect of mindfulness of feelings, so that the Buddhas. I think that's a very natural shift in that when we really attend to the body, relax the body, are very mindful, and we become peaceful within the body, then there's pleasant feeling arising. There's a sense of well-being, sense of rapture, and piti is actually a word that's used in many different shades of that. It doesn't just mean sort of kind of blowing off the top of one's head rapture or anything. It's just very subtle shades of very subtle shades of relaxation and this settledness. I remember one time Ajahn Chah talking about the appearance of piti, and he said that when as you're meditating and relaxing and settling, using the breath, then there's a point where it's just quite naturally the body just is there's this sort of breathing quite deeply, and there's a kind of a settling, and Ajahn Chah said, well, then that's piti, that's part of the range of piti, and that's not such an uncommon experience for meditators. It isn't as if there's say these qualities are out of range of most meditators. So that too, recognizing that this sense of because sometimes we tend to be looking for things that are generated by our desire, and our desire mind that is conjuring up what we want to experience, what we think we should be experiencing, how we would like to be experiencing a meditation, and just to be attentive to more the actual feelings and subtleties of the experiences that we are that are present. So that using the mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of breathing, really entering into and abiding in the sensation of the breath. There is this sense of relaxation that is one focuses on and trains oneself in, but then also one definitely starts to experience that and to recognize it, to see that is something that is actually occurring, or not, in the sense that one is aware that okay, there's still this tightness or this restlessness in the body, and then one can still sort of bring up an actual positive frame of reference within the mind as one's holding the breath, in that sense that recognizing that, okay, I can direct attention to that which is more grounded in well-being, in feeling a feeling of piti, a feeling of happiness that can be directed, and that attention one can still use that framework in order to set a tone for the meditation, because oftentimes we can either be a bit desperate sometimes of trying to make it work, or getting worried, or getting anxious, or it's important to just relax in the meditation and let the awareness work, and that's and obviously that's a qualified statement, in the sense that it's not just about relaxing. It's relaxing in order that the awareness can actually function, or awareness can really come to the fore of our experience, That because sometimes we do relax and then awareness drifts off, drifts away. So that this attending to the meditation, attending to the framework in terms of feeling, the bringing up of a positive, pleasant feeling in the meditation. One can attend to places where one does feel relaxed, where one feels settled. This is something that Ajahn Lee emphasizes in his instructions, that to bring attention to places in where one's experiencing the breath in a pleasant way, a positive, relaxed feeling is being generated. I mean, there's a school of thought not just in Buddhism, but in the world. There sort of is a sort of more pain, more gain sort of thing, and that is you're not really meditating unless you're experiencing lots of pain, and that's a good thing. And then the kind of gung-ho type of attitude that comes around that, where one has to then conquer the pain. And obviously pain is an integral part of the meditator's experience, or it has always been in my 30 years of meditating. But and just the fact of having a physical body and sitting down in a one position for a length of time, whether it's, even if it's only 20 minutes or half an hour or 3/4 of an hour, 2 hours, there's always some level of discomfort, and it's just the nature of the body. So it's important not to just be shrinking away from the pain, but and one has to have the patience to be present for unpleasant feeling as well. That's one of the in terms of the characteristics of dukkha. One of the things that hides dukkha or covers up dukkha is changing posture, and that's both on a physical level as well as on a mental level. We're constantly shifting and changing, trying to get away from dukkha. But when we're sitting and meditating, by necessity we're having to be present for that which is both physically uncomfortable as well as that which is mentally, emotionally uncomfortable. It's there, and to develop the skills in learning how to foster awareness around that, so that the attending to something which is more pleasant, relaxed, tranquil. Picking a point is not just an escape, but is a is a skill in that that one develops, in that one is consciously aware, and one has to sort of make that conscious recognition. This is painful. But then using the mindfulness and awareness to find a place of abiding, which one cannot be, say, intimidated by that pain, so that I found for myself. I mean, I've experimented in many different ways, and certainly, going, kind of struggling with the pain, conquering pain, is one of those options. But I found that it's hard to maintain over a long period of time, and whether it's a 3-month retreat or whether it's say a holy life of years, if one is always just sort of bashing away at pain, one finds. I found myself getting averse, and then that has its own repercussions, because the aversion starts to then spread into not just aversion to the pain, gets aversion to the body, aversion to the meditation, aversion to the Dhamma, aversion to the Buddha. Why did he make me do this? And that is not a useful result. So that taking physical pain that one is experiencing and recognizing, well, that's not the whole picture. Where do I find a place of relaxation? Where am I settled? Say like pain in the knee, which is for me anyway is a constant. Then where do I put attention? If I keep bringing attention down to the knee, then it's just this. In the end, it ends up a distraction. So taking a place, just the rhythm of the breath, and then really relaxing the breath. And it isn't as if the pain goes away, or one's just trying to sugarcoat it, as if it's really not there. But it's it's like making a conscious choice. Say, well, this is something that I can attend to for a long period of time, and one still recognizes pain is pain. But in terms of settling attention and relaxing the body, and then being able to spread that relaxation throughout the body, and including the pain, that's possible. Or in my experience, that's what I found has worked best for me. So that taking the breath and a point in the body where one is feeling relaxed and settled, and then allowing attention to settle there, and then going into the attention there. There are times when the mind just keeps going to pain, or it feels overwhelmed by pain, and it is an interesting experiment to actually just take the pain and go into it. But I think it's sort of something that one does from time to time, as opposed to every single meditation was just sort of going into pain all the time. But because it is important for us to recognize how much perception plays in dealing with pain, in the sense that there's this, and this is in the discourse on mindfulness of breathing, the Buddha, the section on feeling, it's sort of experiencing piti, and breathing in, breathing out, experiencing pleasure or happiness, experiencing sukha. I breathe in, I breathe out. I train myself in that way. And then experiencing the citta sankhara is the third step in this, the tetrad on feeling. And and then calming, the citta sankhara is the fourth. And citta sankhara is Vedana and Sanya together. Veda and Sanya is that which conditions the mind, so that there's the feeling, and then there's a perception. It's impossible to sort of split them out absolutely and completely. But there's two things happening within the mind. And those are fundamental kind of constituents of the mind that are always present. In any mental state, there's always feeling and perception, unless one has entered Nirodha Samapati, which is a rare occurrence. So that this feeling and perception is what is conditioning the mind, what is creating the mind, what is building the content of the mind. So that when we experience pain, then we tend to also have a perception. We perceive it in a certain way. We perceive it as something that is threatening. We perceive it as something that is unwanted. We perceive it as something that is benign. In the sense that one can, perception also conditions our reaction to it. So it's important to recognize that sometimes when we're practicing, how we're holding a painful or pleasant, any feeling, or neutral, but I'm talking about pain at this point. There is the painful feeling, but then there's also the perception, and perception is both memory, say the memory of how we've related to things, how we've experienced things, and then the importance that we place on it, the value that we place on it, so that something that can be painful or unpleasant, but we can perceive it as something that is actually, well, this is valuable, this is useful, this is something that I can investigate, this is something that I can bear with and learn from. Those are, it's a perception. and to recognize that there's, because we can come up with the opposite perception as well. We have experienced something painful, this is awful, this is the end of the world, my meditation is finished, I'm hopeless. All because of a painful sensation. So that that recognition of how these are working in the mind, and that so that as we experience something that may be painful, we can cast it in another light as well. Okay, how do I use this? How do I work with it? Come back to a sensation that is more neutral, so that there's an opportunity for relaxing and settling, so that the using the breath and the sensation of the breathing, attending to the breathing, the breath in places where there's a sense of it's not getting tight and constricted and fraught with the perception of difficulty and complication. And really, how do I attend to the breath so that there's the sense of relaxation, settling, spaciousness, uncomplicated, qualities of well-being. And again, this is where the Buddha does emphasize this as to be training oneself in experiencing piti, experiencing sukha, so that it helps to facilitate the practice. It helps to facilitate the deepening of well-being and stillness within the mind. And obviously, it'll be dropped, it'll be relinquished, and one has to relate to that skillfully as well, because we can similarly, what is the perception that comes up? Feeling and perception, vedana, sanya, citta sankhara, what proliferates the mind, what creates the mind. There's this little sort of flash of well-being sort of flits through the mind, and then the perception of, wow, I'm really getting my meditation together now. Wow, boy, I got piti now. This is such a wonderful thing. Boy, am I great. I've experienced the fruits of meditation now. And that perception, it's just another feeling. So that you have to recognize what is the mind is starting to, where it's starting to move, what's it starting to create within itself, and always returning to that quality of the breath, that sort of that rhythm of the in-breath, the out-breath, awareness, mindfulness. Say this is the anchor, and then to watch the feelings, perceptions arise and pass away. And to recognize, experiencing and then calming. The feeling and perception. One is using the breath to calm and to settle, bring the mind to a point of tranquility and clarity. And in terms of the using using awareness, using the mind, that sense of with piti, sukha, there's constituents of the piti and sukha, constituents of the first jhana. And it's helpful and useful to be working with that as a framework, but also you say that the constituents of the first jhana, vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. Vitakka as the initial kind of the initial thought, and vichara as a sustained thought, piti, sukha, ekaggata, one-pointedness. So that using that vitakka is sort of like the lifting up of awareness, lifting up of an object, the first sort of thought of a attention, what one's attending to. So that lifting up of attention to the breath, and then the vichara as the sustaining of attention around that feeling of the breath, as it comes in, as it goes out, and then you'll notice the mind start to wander or start to drift a little bit, and then that's where that's where you're really being conscious of that lifting up of the mind to the object of attention, really lifting up and placing attention on the object, on the breath, and making that quite conscious of that, and being aware. That's vitakka, and then vichara, and then as the mind sustains its attention on that object, and in particular, say, on the breath, and is noticing with clarity the sensation of the breath, and the looking at it from this different, with interest, and sustaining that interest. I mean, that's vichara, that sustained attention, attending to things in a sustained way, and there can be some movement there, in that one is investigating, attending, looking at it from different directions, but the object is sustained, and then it's just as everything is impermanent. That attention starts to become a bit diffuse, or it starts to and starts to wander a bit. So then to really consciously recognize, okay, this is wandering. Vitakka, lifting up attention again, placing attention on the breath. At whatever point one's lost it, or one recognizes, okay, well, I've lost it there. Okay, new breath, vitakka. Here I am, lifting up and placing attention back on the breath again. Okay, vichara. How do I sustain that? How do I keep that sustained attention? So that it's that vitakka vichara that really gives the mind the work to stay with the breath, and then and the vichara is sort of looking at the different subtleties of sensation, the experience of the breath. How do I sustain attention? So that and then okay, lifting up again. Okay, and one can take it in a different angle, different perspective. But anyway, there's that sense of vitakka, lifting it up and placing attention back onto the breath, and then vichara, sustaining that. So that this is the work of as we're meditating, that lifting up and sustaining, lifting up and sustaining. And as one is sustaining the attention, and it becomes more consistent, then there's this settling, and that's where the body relaxes, the mind relaxes, and then and that's naturally where the sense of piti arises, piti, sukha, as one experiences piti and sukha, I mean, sometimes that quality of zest or rapture arises, can in itself be, I mean, it can be very energizing. The energy can then be a cause for losing attention. One gets distracted because of the energetic feeling, or the kind of the, it's a so all of a sudden there's one comes alive, and there's this certain excitement about, but then it's difficult to sustain that. And this is again where one has to return to the, okay, vitaka, lifting up attention onto the object, sustaining attention, lifting up, vitaka, vichara, lifting up and sustaining. And then that slowly sort of shaping, composing, settling around the breath, and brightening that one pointing. You want to say one sort of. You're not just sort of. It's not just sort of a one point that it immediately comes on. Say like there's this little green light in the this microphone here. I mean, it isn't as if you press the switch and boom, there it is. This one little green light, just is one pointed. It stays there all the time. It's not like that. When the meditation, there's this a certain sort of brightness and settledness arises, but then one needs to shape, contain one point, bring it back to that point, and it's the nature of the mind is it's looking for objects outside of itself. It's either looking for objects outside of itself, or it's sort of collapsing in on itself, so that that shaping and using the energy of the vitaka and vichara, that initial application of mind, and the sustained application of mind in order to create that continuity of awareness and attention. And as one does that, that's when the mind really starts to settle. And that's the work of meditation, just using the breath as that underlying theme or rhythm. There's the breath there that we then use in order to we utilize the breath and relax with the breath, but then bringing the mind onto it with that vitaka, vichara. And as we sustain that and work with that, one pointing it, and then there's those qualities of well-being and pleasure arise, the mindfulness and the meditation become a pleasurable experience. and even if it is unpleasant in the sense of when experiencing pain, that doesn't preclude the opportunity to still work with that same vitaka vichara. Okay, how do one is experiencing something that is maybe physically painful, might be mentally painful, some painful memory, painful emotion in the present moment. How does one work with that lifting up of attention to it? There's a sustaining attention. As one relax around it, so there's this sense of zest and interest that is has some quality of enlivening, and that changes it into something that is, as it can be quite pleasurable, joyful even. So that that working with attention is the key, and then and it's probably just the examples I've been using are the more extreme aspects of our experience, in the sense of pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling. But what is actually more predominant is neutral feeling, neither painful nor pleasant. How much of our life is neutral? Well, a lot of it, really. And the one of the problems or difficulties is that we're not used to sustaining attention or lifting up attention to something that's neutral. We tend to look for something else, or get bored and frustrated because it's neutral. And that's oftentimes what happens with the breath. Why is it that we can't sustain attention on the breath? One of the reasons is because it's neutral, and we get bored, or it's not, nothing's happening. But the nothing happening is actually the real important ground for us to be then cultivating the inner qualities of vitakka, lifting up, using the effort and kind of resilience within the mind, the inner qualities of patience and attention, so that we're lifting up that attention and placing it back onto the breath, a neutral object, a neutral sensation, and then sustaining that. And how do we sustain on it without the inner qualities of interest, investigation, kind of that query that underlies our spiritual quest, spiritual search. And then we're always going to spend our time looking for something that is either more interesting, more gratifying, more satisfying, or when that fails to bring results, then at least we can grumble and complain about that which is miserable and which we don't like, which is somehow, it's an option that we're constantly taking. So that using that neutral sensation, the neutral quality of vedana, adukkha sukha vedana, neither painful nor pleasant vedana. It's really important to really start to hone attention so that we can be present for neutral sensation. And again, it's when we're able to lift up attention, that initial application of mind, vitakka, sustain attention on that, sustain the application of mind on the neutral, then that a change will take place, and this sense of piti and sukha arises. The mind one points and settles on the object, and it's because of the quality of attention. So that our practice is really one of say working with with attention. We're working with vitakka vichara, so that there's a continuity of attention comes to the fore. And then whatever feeling is there, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, it's sort of beside the point. And that's a real quality of freedom. There's a real stability of mind when we're not dependent on the range of feeling in order to, because that's most of what say people's lives are. And there's this wonderful quote that the Buddha gives of for the ordinary unenlightened person, there is no escape from unpleasant feeling other than pleasant feeling, and that sense of, and that's human existence in a nutshell. Is that constant trying to escape from that which is unpleasant by finding that which is pleasant through the senses, and by its very nature, of course, it doesn't satisfy. So it's definitely a lost cause. But that being able to be present with feeling, seeing a feeling as a feeling, knowing a feeling as a feeling, experiencing the feeling, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, and holding it with attention, then that has a possibility of sort of transforming into that qualities of well-being and one-pointedness, the mind coming together. Can work with that.
This was today's session. If there is any question, then those questions can be asked. Today's session, if there is any then we move to Parikta section or Maitri section. Over to you, Dipti.
Thank you, Nikhil. Nikhil, if I may request you to kindly share the screen because now I'm on my mobile. So if you can open chanting book 2.
Okay.
Sorry for the trouble. Page 102. Bojang Paritta. मौसम की वजह से कुछ लोग बीमार चल रहे हैं तो सोचा कि भुजंग परित्त कर लेते हैं। भुजंग परित्त। भुजंगो सति संघातो धम्मानं विचयो तथा वीर्यं पीतिपस्सद्धि भुजंगा च तथा परे समाधि उपेक्षा भुजंगा सत्तेते सबदस्सिना मुनिना सम्मदखाता भाविता बहुलीकता संवर्तन्ति अभिन्याय निब्बानाय च बोधिया एतेन सच्चवज्जेन सुस्थिते होतु सर्वदा एकस्मिन् समये नाथो मोगल्लानं च कस्सपं किलाने दुःखिते दिस्वा भोजङ्गे सत्तदेशै ते च तङ्गभिनन्दित्वा रोगामुच्चिंसु तङ्कणे एतेन सच्चवच्चेन सोत्थिते होतु सर्वदा एकदा धम्मराजापि गेलन्नेनाभिपीडितो चुन्दत्थेरेण तन्नेव प्रणापेत्वान् सादरं सम्मोदित्वा च आबाधा तं हावुत्थासिठानसो एतेन सच्चवज्जेन सोत्थिते होतु सर्वदा पहीनाते च आबाधा तिन्नं पीमहेसिनं मगाहत किलेसाव पत्तानुपत्तिधम्मतं एतेन सच्चवच्चेन सोत्थिते होतु सर्वदा बोधि के अंग सती धम्म विचय तथा वीर्य प्रीति प्रशब्दि भी बोधि के अंग हैं और समाधि और उपेक्षा बोधि के अंग हैं। इन सातों का संपूर्ण दर्शन कर मुनि श्रेष्ठ ने अच्छी तरह से बताया, भावित और विकसित किया। विशिष्ट ज्ञान के लिए, निर्वाण और बोधि के लिए इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। एक समय भगवान ने मोगलान और कश्यप को व्याधि से पीड़ित देख 7 बोधि के अंगों का उपदेश दिया। वे इनका अभिनंदन कर उसी क्षण रोगों से मुक्त हो गए। इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। एक बार धर्मराजा भी व्याधि से पीड़ित हुए और धीरे से सादर इनका पाठ कराकर इसका अनुमोदन करते ही वह इस व्याधि से बाहर आ गए। इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। तीनों महर्षियों को व्याधि से मुक्ति मिली। जैसे धर्म मार्ग के अनुसरण से क्लेशों से मुक्ति, धर्मानुसार जो भी प्राप्त होना है वह प्राप्त होता है। इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। यं किंचिरत्नं लोके, पेज 99। यं किंचिरत्नं लोके विज्जति विविधं पुतु रत्नं बुद्धसमं नास्ति तस्मासोत्थि भवन्तु ते। यं किंचिरत्नं लोके विज्जति विविधं पुतु रत्नं धम्मसमं नास्ति तस्मासोत्थि भवन्तु ते। यं किंचिरत्नं लोके विज्जति विविधं पुतु रत्नं संग समं नास्ति तस्मासोत्थि भवन्तु ते। लोक में जितने भी रत्न हैं जिनको जाना जाता है, बुद्ध के समान कोई रत्न नहीं है। इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। लोक में जितने भी रत्न हैं जिनको जाना जाता है, धम्म के समान कोई रत्न नहीं है। इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। लोक में जितने भी रत्न हैं जिनको जाना जाता है, संग के समान कोई रत्न नहीं है। इस सत्य वचन के प्रभाव से आपका कल्याण हो। नेक्स्ट पेज, सकत्वा। सकत्वा बुद्धरत्नम् ओषधम् उत्तमं वरम् हितं देवमनुस्सानं बुद्धतेजेन सोत्थिना न सन्ति उपद्रवा सभ्ये दुःखावुपशमेन्तु ते। सकत्वा धम्मरत्नम् ओषधम् उत्तमं वरम् परिणाहुपशमनं धम्मतेजेन शुद्धिना न सन्ति उपद्रवा सभ्ये भयावुपशमेन्तु ते। सकत्वा सङ्घरत्नम् ओषधम् उत्तमं वरम् आहुनेयं पाहुनेयं सङ्घतेजेन शुद्धिना न सन्ति उपद्रवा सभ्ये रोगावोपशमयन्तु ते। बुद्ध रत्न का सत्कार कर, जो कि उत्तम और श्रेष्ठ औषधि है, देवों और मनुष्यों के हित के लिए। बुद्ध के तेज के प्रभाव से कल्याण हो, सारे उपद्रव दूर हों, आपके दुखों का शमन हो। धम्म रत्न का सत्कार कर, जो कि उत्तम और श्रेष्ठ औषधि है, ताप शांत करने के लिए। धम्म के तेज के प्रभाव से कल्याण हो, सारे उपद्रव दूर हों, आपके भयों का शमन हो। संग रत्न का सत्कार कर, जो कि उत्तम और श्रेष्ठ औषधि है, तथा आतिथ्य और भेंट देने योग्य है। संग के तेज के प्रभाव से कल्याण हो, सारे उपद्रव दूर हों, आपके रोगों का शमन हो। सबित्यो सबित्यो विवज्जन्तु, सबरोगो विनश्यतु, माते भवत्वन्तरायो, सुखी दीर्घायुको भव। अभिवादनशीलस्य नित्यं वुद्धापचायिनो, चत्वारो धम्मा वर्धन्ति, आयुर्वनो सुखं बलम्। सभी विपत्तियां दूर हों, सभी रोगों का नाश हो, आपको कोई बाधा ना हो, सुखी और लंबी आयु हो। जिसका अभिवादन करने का स्वभाव है और बड़ों का सदा आदर करता है, उसके चार धम्म बढ़ते हैं, आयु, वर्ण, सुख और बल। 2 मिनट शांत बैठकर क्लोजिंग करेंगे। क्लोजिंग। भवतु सब मंगलम, रखन्तु सब देवता, सब बुद्धानुभावेन, सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते। भवतु सब मंगलम, रखन्तु सब देवता, सब धर्मानुभावेन, सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते। भवतु सब मंगलम, रखन्तु सब देवता, सब संहानुभावेन, सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते। अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवान् बुद्धं भगवन्तम् अभिवादेमि। स्वाक्षातो भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमस्सामि। सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो संघं नमामि। थैंक यू निखिल।
धन्यवाद दीप्ति जी, थैंक यू। थैंक यू दीप्ति, थैंक यू निखिल, थैंक यू वेरी मच।